Welcome, everyone, to another episode of How the Hell Was This a Hit? And we are going to try to answer an age-old question. Before we do that, I'm Kirk Buchner. I run NotInHallOfFame.com, the fictitious Athlete Hall of Fame, the fictitious Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and the United States Athletic Hall of Fame. Second ever ballot's going to be coming out in a month, so look for that soon. And with me is Andrea Tessmann and Brad Nelson. How are you doing?
Pretty good. How are you, Kirk?
All right. I'm all right. Grand thing, all things considering, I would say. A lot of stress from this little one right here, who is still sort of comes
Oh,
to the
what's
essence of
Quinny
being a
doing?
all the same stuff that she always does.
Hmm.
We might
Trying to
answer
take
what
over
the
the world?
well, no, we might answer what the fox says, but we won't be able to answer why do you eat poop?
You know that it's actually a learned. It's a ingrained behavior in puppies
Mm-hmm.
because in a den, the mom would eat the puppy's poop so that it wouldn't mess up the den.
So when he sees you doing it, and she's like, I could do that too.
I only eat the stuff from others, but that's another story for another time. And that's a German thing. I don't have to tell you, I don't have to tell Andrea about that.
Innocent scientific fact about dogs that you guys make pervy.
Hi, Andrea. My name is Brad.
I didn't make it pervy.
Yes.
I just built on it.
No, Brad made it pervy. That's
Yes.
why his nickname is Pervy Muppet.
Yay!
Well,
Anyway,
you
what are we
picked
talking about today?
No, we're talking about, I don't even know how to pronounce this.
Ylvis.
Ylvis. Okay, so I'll say this. Obviously, we're doing what did the fox say? I hated this fucking song when it came out. I hated it. I hated it. I hated it. I don't hate it as much now because I did not know at that time because I didn't care to know. I didn't care to do any of the legwork to learn that they made it as a joke too.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. I hated it. I didn't care to put any thought or research into it. It was just everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere. I couldn't get away from it and it annoyed the fuck out of me. So therefore I hated it. Yeah. And then when I started researching it now and I'm like, it's almost Monty Python level absurdity. Like it's absurdist humor that's just nothing other than dumb, but in that there is actual humor.
Yeah, so much like what LFMAO did, and in the same vein as Psy with Gangnam Style.
Not doing that.
You've basically got like comedy that has a wicked beat to it, makes it very. It's you could just listen to it and it's super approachable. It's any pop song with that BPM ever written, just like that. It can mix super easily into another one of the same or similar BPM, beats per minute for our listeners in Nebraska. But no, the I don't know. I picked this state.
I'm
anyway.
sure there's a great trance scene out in Omaha.
Yes, 100. Well, there must be.
Maybe.
So anyway, the idea was this song on the surface is pure vanilla radio pop,
except until when you're just sort of like you can't even say you're dissecting the lyrics because it's just it did literally make I guess he just tried to come up with I tried to find an interview where he said where he even came up with that idea other than it was just like a dumb idea.
Mm-hmm.
It was just that's all I could find was that it was a dumb idea, and it was supposed to be a gag. It was like for their show that they were going to they had a late night comedy talk show thing, I think.
No, variety show. Norway,
yeah, right.
Unaware because they're like I did not know until this that they were Norwegian.
Yeah, so Ylvis is that is the two brothers, Vegard and Bard.
So they had this comedy show that they essentially wrote this song so that it would be a flop. Like they never intended it to be a hit. It was a joke that was just going to be like, oh hey, when they came out on the show, look, we wrote this song, but this is all we got, and it blew up.
Yeah,
there was an opening actually for their third season So near as I can
Yeah.
tell, it's like a variety show slash talk show slash
Comedy show.
show, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't do that much of a deep dive other than see, probably the first and last time, maybe the last time I'll ever watch an interview on Ellen because they were being interviewed on Ellen, and I not stand Ellen DeGeneres, but I, I basically that's where where I got a lot of that knowledge from that.
Mhm.
And okay, like fine, then I I I can't hate the song as much I can hate the people who made me listen to it.
And you know what? Like Thrift Shop, like LFML,
Come on.
either of their hits or
Thrift
whatever.
Shop banged.
It really did. But again, it was that ubiquitous song where you heard it everywhere. It was like you either hated it more or it grew on you, depending on how you looked at it. And like other songs that I've picked in the past, it's been kind of about fun. And this one is, I mean, it's just mindless cotton candy, no nutritive value in this music whatsoever. It's just fun.
I
I
think
think there's also there's a bit of parody to it because it was a very ubiquitous style at the time to mix that kind of low tempo house with then some weird trap breakbeat in there.
Mm.
So yeah, it could have been manufactured by almost any producer of the genre, and
Mhm.
it just kind of caught people's imagination. I don't know.
I got $1 million question here for both of you.
Do I get $1 million?
I can get you 1 million rupiah. That's where my wife is right now in
Well,
Indonesia.
because if I had $1 million, Kirk, I would buy you a green dress.
But not a real green dress. That's
That's
cruel.
cruel.
I'd rather have the Coke.
I'd
Take that.
rather
How about a nice Reliant automobile, a K car?
have.
Does anybody know what a K car is anymore that's like younger than me?
No,
I don't know.
I forgot
I
what
remember
the
K
question
cars
was.
though.
Okay, now I remember. Is the silly noise is that when he's guessing what the fox is, if he didn't have an answer for it, would this have been as big a hit?
There was no answer for it.
Well, but there was an answer. What does the fox say? Well, maybe it goes pow 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 or whatever the fuck.
No, I think if you watch the video, it scats, dude.
Yeah, at the end, the fox does a good little scat, but they don't notice because they're too distracted with singing and dancing in furry costumes that aren't actually foxes.
Okay, but that was a big part of the whole of the catch was the nonsense.
Yeah,
100%.
So if
which
you
is
you throw that in, is it as big a hit? I would guess no.
Well, I mean, like I said before, and I brought up the example of Psy's Gangnam Style. We don't have a clue, most of us at least. I don't have a clue what any of the words that Psy had said in that.
hey, sexy lady,
Well, yeah, okay, we got that. But
Oppa Gangnam Style.
yes,
Yeah.
but what does that mean?
Well,
Well,
Gangnam
Gangnam is a
in
region in
Seoul.
Seoul, so it's like the dance style of Gangnam.
Okay, so we got the Gangnam Style dancing, and that's all we know
A two
about it.
for one episode. Look at this.
It rocks the charts because of the fact that it had a wicked beat. It was a lot of fun. And I think, honestly,
Yeah, that was a way better beat than the
This.
cow says meow, the dog says woof.
yeah, but
Like,
when he hits it, like he comes in soulful. Like
I
he's
wouldn't call that
cow
soulful.
says moo moo, dog say woof. You know, he's coming in like he's
Better singer than some of the other novelty people we've
Yeah,
yeah, like
both
he's singing
musicians.
something important, and then you know, and then da, ba, 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 and then it builds and it builds and it builds, and there's that odd sincerity, like I was trying to say before, that kind of sells it.
Well, the build that's just the style of music. Down
Mhm.
tempo house followed by a break. So
I'm more mad at myself. I missed the parody aspect of it back then.
Well, originally this song, okay, originally the boys were starting off to write a song about a guy who can't dance, like hates dancing, which is hi.
Here.
I can't dance. I dance like a white dude, and I hate it when somebody tries to get me up to dance. and I gotta be pretty hammered before I'll hit that dance floor. And then it just looks like I'm hammered on the dance floor.
You know, that's never
We gotta
happened to
get
me.
you in a really bad bear costume, maybe.
Ooh, I could do
That
that in a bear
happened?
costume.
Hey, you've got that wolf. That would work. It's close enough to a fox, right?
Why do
It's
you
in
no.
storage.
Why does he have a wolf? It's a Halloween costume.
I have a big trunk of Halloween costumes. It's a sacred holiday, Kirk. You will not mock my religion.
I will
Not
not.
here.
I will not.
Halloween is not sacred to the Pastafarians, Brad.
I can be both. I can be a Halloweenie and a Pastafarian. You've never had hot dogs in KD?
That's wrong though. You shouldn't put that in craft dinner. That's not how you have craft dinner.
You can put hot dogs in craft dinner. It's
I'll tell you
okay.
the correct. No, here's how you have craft dinner. What you do is you get 3 packs of craft dinner, and then you just forget about the other 2 things of macaroni. Use it for something else maybe, and then use the 3 packs of cheese in the one. That's how you have craft dinner.
Kirk, you don't need to buy 3 packs of craft dinner. You can just buy the cheese powder in Costco in like a kilo.
Now, Kirk, if you had $1 million, you wouldn't have to eat craft dinner.
But
But
I
we
would
would
eat
eat craft dinner.
Actually, I haven't had craft dinner in a long, long time, but that's neither here nor there. I'm just talking about the proper way to do that, maybe because I've got really nothing else. Other than the fact that I'm just sort of pleased. I've never done a 180 on a song more than this, only because I can't hate these guys anymore.
Yeah, they're fun, they're interesting. I think, what does the Fox say, it was fun at the time when it came out. I didn't hate it at all. I wasn't one of those people like, oh God, it's on again. I'd turn it up. It's fun.
I think
Yeah,
also, well, for me, you would have been in Jasper too. I think, I don't know.
yeah, 10 years ago. Yep.
But I had a bunch of teens playing that at the train station where I worked. And then the more they knew it pissed me off, the more they'd play it.
What, you mean people do things that infuriate you on purpose, Kirk? I'm shocked and amazed.
Probably didn't help.
It's so easy, Kirk.
Anyway, yeah.
Kirk, you just open yourself up to being a target for that kind of behavior. Not gonna lie.
Open your heart to
How?
Just, I don't know, but you do. Ask Brad.
Okay, because all I have to do is just needle in there with a little something, a couple of words about disparaging your sports ball team or something like that, and I get to watch you light the fuck up, and it's
Or you're
enjoyable.
flirting with your wife.
Oh,
You know,
I do like flirting with your
react
wife.
so well, Kirk. It's just, it's a thing of beauty.
Yeah, you know, if you were more
Wouldn't be a
cool and
problem if
calm
I
about
knew
it.
that he wasn't her type.
Oh, I'm her type.
She thinks that Kevin James is hot. I mean, this is.
Yeah, get you a pear-shaped son of a bitch like me. Mm-hmm.
Put you on a segue. I'm fucked for sure. But anyway,
That's only because you
I
like,
can be Paul Blart the Mall Cop. That was good. Put you on a segue. I'm fucked for sure. I love it. See, that makes it harder to bug you because you roll with it.
yeah. All right, what else you guys
Like
got?
water off a Buckner's back.
do we have anything else to say about the fox?
I got
The sound that the fox actually makes, they make quite a wide variety of sounds, but
Live near them. I
anywhere
never
from
heard
like
them.
high-pitched yips to like kind of growly little bark sort of things. They don't sound like a dog barking, but they also do like a gravelly kind of sound that out of all the sounds in the song, I think that would probably be the closest.
I don't think he was going for any of that, but sure.
Well, the yip 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 yip.
Yeah, you know what? That
That was
also,
close.
yeah.
But the
Maybe not
scatting
with
at
that-
the end.
Maybe not with quite that tempo and rhythm, but yeah, the scatting at the end, that actually was a pretty good
Well, scat
little
also
turnaround.
means something different to us Germans too. So
Hey, what does the fox poop?
Scat. Ba-da-ba-dwee up.
Batu-bada-bup. Batu-bada-bup. That'd be an interesting song to look at too. That weird song.
I'm the scat man. I
Yeah.
saw him
That's
do a
Charted.
live version of it.
That's
And
Sharded.
he's tight.
Funny, Kirk.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you know what? You know what's coming up?
What?
Christmas.
My colonoscopy.
Well, I thought you'd want to know what you have next week.
Oh, yes, actually.
Yeah. All right. Who's your least favorite singer, Brad?
Neil Young.
What do you call him?
Sad Tiny Tim.
Tiny Tim had what?
Tiny Tim had a fucking hit.
Mm.
Yes, he did.
Tiptoe through the tulips.
That's like on par with Tiny Tim.
That's one impression I do well.
I
You
believe
gotta get
I
your
might be
ukulele
wrong
for
on
this.
but I think it went number 17. So this was actually a hit.
Okay.
And this guy was actually quite a star at one point in time.
Okay.
Yeah. Bring out your uke for this one because
So this is one where, to borrow a Bradism, there's a lot of meat on this bone.
Tiny Tim.
Tiny Tim, who actually
Sad. No, happy Neil Young. Okay.
Well, maybe not. Maybe
Well, happy sounding, perhaps.
Also too, the answer he is apparently, I don't know if this is true or not, but from what I've read, the first live wedding was his.
Somebody voluntarily married Tiny Tim?
Multiple times.
Gross.
Well,
Like he's like when people say clowns are creepy, like Tiny Tim is creepier.
I don't understand the popularity, so I thought this would be a really interesting one to look at. I remember my mom, God bless her, hated him.
Yeah, for good reason, because your mother had taste.
Yeah, I can see my dad sort of like opening up, raising a glass to that statement. That's for you, Dad. But yeah, so I would think that this is a fascinating star in a weird era that I don't get it. So I thought that would be a very interesting one to look at. Not necessarily to torture you. I said inspired by you. Because I didn't actually know what you thought of it.
You're still pissed off that your wife fancies me, aren't you?
Well, yes, but that's not why I picked it.
Oh, okay. I thought that's why you picked this.
If he really wanted to piss you off, he'd pick more disco.
I would have picked,
we
I would have picked Neil
way
Young.
more disco, didn't we? We already like covered all the disco hits.
Well, there's a lot of disco. I would have actually went with Neil Young.
A lot of disco.
I know you
looked at like all of Saturday Night Fever. I had to watch that goddamn movie.
All right, now you're pissing me off. That is that is a cinematic masterpiece.
Oh, it really isn't.
It really is.
No. Vinnie Barbarino struts for a minute, and then he does some screwed up shit, and there's two completely unnecessary rapes, and then the movie's over.
Okay. A rape was different back then. This isn't helping. All right.
Nope.
No. No, don't go there.
Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas is coming up. You know what would be a great Christmas present? A book.
Oh, I was going to say
I'm
me
going
under
to
the
talk
tree.
about 2 books because I just did an interview with another individual. He's got a book out, and that'll be coming up on the website too. So I did the autobiography for the late great Chavo Guerrero Sr. Check that out. There is another book that I just want to give a shout out to him. I don't think there's a whole lot of crossover, but a gentleman named Darren Hayes, who I got to know peripherally through the world of X. Because if you use X right, it's still pretty damn good.
Just don't bathe in it. You don't need half a can of it every 20 minutes.
Well, there
That's
you go.
Axe, Andrea.
Never mind.
You bathe in X a lot, then you smell like Elon Musk, which is actually the name of the band. Thank you. So he's got a great book out about an undefeated football team from 1903. That actually.
Oh yes, those guys.
Well, no,
weren't they undefeated because nobody else was playing?
No, there was a bunch of other teams that played them, and this was an all-star team that was put together in a small town in Franklin, Pennsylvania. And they were so good that any team that went up against them, well, they not only did they win every game, they didn't allow a point all year.
Well, this was the Pennsylvania Globetrotters, right?
This was not the Pennsylvania Globetrotters, it was the Franklin All-Stars.
Oh,
And it's called the greatest team on the gridiron by a good friend of mine. Well, not a good friend of mine, but something I just wanted to plug because I'm really I like sort of
Why do
that.
they call it a gridiron?
I have no flipping clue.
same reason why they call it a tight end and they have a shower afterwards.
That could be. That's as good a reason as anything I got. I don't know. I got nothing.
All right. Well, I bet you have other shows that you do.
I do.
Cheater.
Well, there's that. The weekly show with Evan Nolan, where we look at weekly Hall of Fame related things. There's going to be a lot more interviews coming off also on the show. I just did an interview with a gentleman named Melvin Thrower. His dad played football briefly for the Chicago Bears in 1953. But the reason
The
why
Bears.
Bears. But the reason why I want to talk to him is that he actually was the first black quarterback
Oh,
in the NFL.
Interesting.
Very interesting, yeah. And then he would later play here in Canada for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. So I got to talk to him about his sort of memories for that. There's a few other shows like this coming up, where we're sort of like looking at forgotten treasures of the game, of not just football, but baseball and other things. Speaking of that, good segue. Another good. This one is a good friend of mine, Vinny Lospinuso. He does a great show for me called Vinny Makes the Hall of Fame Case For, and he does his research very very well. He's actually the person who set up that interview for me, and
nice.
he actually got Melvin's dad, Willie Thrower. Now, if that's not a great name for a quarterback, what is? Like it's the best name ever for now, Willie Thrower. And
Well, it'd be better if the object in question was a dildo that he was tossing.
Why? Just
Willie-
for your humor?
Willie
No,
Thrower.
I was having a like Willie says, Willie Nelson. You gotta know where the
Willie,
hole
here's
is.
your boy.
You should have folded on that one there. Jesus. I was about to give props to my buddy who he got this man into the Western Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and that's pretty impressive. That because Vinny does a lot of good work, and I like talking to the guy.
Yeah. So do I, especially when I remember it.
The episode that shall not be named and forever struck from anybody's memory.
Well, it struck from mine. I don't remember it at all. So we've got that going for us. There's going to be a couple end of year shows too, where I've got another couple guests lined up. So there's a whole lot of things coming. There's a lot of new sections on the site that I've been working on notinhalloffame.com. Hopefully, this is going to be a killer year for me. I don't know. We will see.
We got to do the cancel pool, man. But I think we need to do it in January. We'll pick like early January date.
Yeah, I think so. And then we have like the rules are just keep changing and changing. And like, my God, I don't even know. And for those wondering what that is, just an idea that we had of like who's going to get canceled for things they do. And sometimes you don't get canceled even despite the awful things you do. And now it makes it even weirder because conservatives have figured out that they can cancel people too.
Well, the difficulty is, first of all, what do you consider canceled? And that has to be a monetary loss, like we were talking about.
That's
And
the standard.
if it's only monetary, because I mean, like for example, prime example would be Louis C.K. got canceled, so to speak. However, he's still making money. He's still doing shows.
He was canceled for a couple years, though.
But yeah,
he came back.
He put out a movie that never saw the light of day. So
yeah, he was out for a couple of years.
He lost some shit.
Oh, so, definitely, he's not doing as well now as he could have been. However, he's still selling tickets. He's still selling recordings.
Yeah,
but I would say that he would qualify as canceled because he wasn't for a while. He was out for a couple of years, and then he kind of started to work his way back. So I think that would count as being canceled, but then somewhat of a
it's really tricky because even then, like something big will happen, like Jimmy Fallon. I thought, okay, well, this is going to take him down, and it didn't. In the toxic environment, and now since that time, now he pops in on another State Farm commercial. So,
Yeah, it's going to be difficult, especially when Ryan Reynolds gets canceled.
well, that's what.
Shut your mouth.
We all have a trigger there, Andrea. So you're easy to get going too. So,
Brad says that because he knows. No, Ryan Reynolds is just too pure and good for this world.
Too pure. He's the guy who ripped out his pubes in Waiting.
Pure maybe isn't the right word.
I've never seen that film, and now I will not.
Oh
Have you
no,
not
you gotta
seen
see
Waiting?
Waiting,
Oh,
dude.
you gotta see Waiting.
I'll watch it now.
It's exactly your
I'll-
frat boy sense of humor.
Nope.
Mm-hmm. You have to see it.
You don't like see his balls or anything. It's
No,
just
no.
you've worked in hospitality. You
He
really
dresses somebody's
I did
food.
not work in hospitality.
well, your wife has.
Yeah.
her
You
whole
were
life.
hospitality adjacent.
I see. I suppose so. Right, Gwen? Yes. Okay.
Look up the movie. You got to see it. It's even better. It's even better than Green Lantern.
Far on that one. All right, kids. Wherever you are, wherever you may be, make it a good day, because unless the Buddhists are right, this day's not coming again.
Good night.
Saying